They don't want you to know this. They don't want you to wake up. Lust is not just a desire, it is a trap. A silent assassin, lurking in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And when it does, it doesn't just take your pleasure, it takes your power. If you are a chosen one, you have felt this. That strange, unexplainable exhaustion after indulging in lustful desires. That deep, nagging emptiness that follows pleasure. It is not just in your mind. It is not just some temporary feeling. It is real. Every time you give in, you are being drained. Your energy, your focus, your purpose, it is all being siphoned away. The ancients understood this. They knew that sexual energy was not just physical, it was spiritual. Warriors, monks, visionaries, those who walked the highest path, practiced discipline not because they were afraid of pleasure, but because they understood its cost. Look at the most powerful figures throughout history. Nikola Tesla, Leonardo da Vinci, spiritual masters from ancient traditions, they all warned of this hidden force. Not because they were against love, not because they despised human connection, but because they knew that uncontrolled desire was the easiest way to weaken the chosen. And yet, society glorifies it, promotes it, pushes it in your face at every turn. Why? Because they understand that a chosen one who is controlled by lust can never reach their full power. A man or woman who is enslaved by desire can never become a master of destiny. Have you ever noticed how much weaker you feel after indulging? Have you ever felt that loss of motivation, that sudden lack of clarity, that emptiness that creeps in like a shadow? That is not a coincidence. That is the price of giving away your divine energy. And the worst part? Most people will never wake up to this. They will continue down the path, chasing fleeting pleasures, never realizing that with every indulgence, they are losing something far greater. But you are not most people. If you are hearing this message, you are being given a choice. Will you continue to let lust drain your power, or will you reclaim it? Lust is not just about the body. It is about control. The moment you let it dictate your thoughts, you have already lost the battle. Because when lust controls you, you can no longer trust your own mind. Look at history. Look at the great men who have fallen. It was not war, not external enemies, not even betrayal that led to their downfall. It was a moment of weakness, a single decision made under the influence of lust. Samson was the strongest man alive, yet he lost everything because he let desire cloud his judgment. Kings, warriors, leaders, they did not fall by the sword. They fell to seduction. And yet, the system keeps feeding it to you. Movies, music, social media. Everywhere you look, it is there. Not because it wants you to enjoy life, but because it wants to keep you distracted. A distracted mind is a weak mind. A weak mind is easy to control. Have you ever wondered why your focus fades after indulging in lust? Why your intuition seems dulled? Your clarity suddenly disappears? It is not random. It is designed. The more you give in, the more your mind becomes fogged. And a fogged mind cannot see the path. A fogged mind cannot make the right choices. A fogged mind walks straight into destruction without even realizing it. The enemy of the chosen ones is not always an external force. It is not some great war or visible oppression. Number. The greatest enemy is the one that whispers in your ear, the one that comes disguised as pleasure, the one that makes you surrender willingly. But what happens when you take back control? What happens when you refuse to be a puppet? Clarity, power, mastery. When you remove lust from your mind, your vision sharpens. You see the world for what it is. You see the hidden forces at play. And most importantly, you see yourself. Not as a slave to your impulses, but as a master of your destiny. The world does not need to destroy the chosen ones. It only needs to keep them distracted. Because a chosen one who is distracted will never fulfill their mission. But a chosen one who has mastered their desires, that is a force that cannot be stopped. Are you ready to reclaim your mind? Or will you continue to let it be hijacked? Not all prisons have walls. Some are invisible. Some are so subtle that you do not even realize you are in them. Lust is one of those prisons. It binds you not with chains, but with attachment. Have you ever found yourself drawn to someone you knew was wrong for you? Have you ever felt tied to a person, an experience, a memory, something that drained you more than it nourished you? That is not an accident. That is not love. That is a soul tie, a spiritual connection created through lust, and it is one of the hardest chains to break. People think lust is just physical. It is not. It is spiritual. Every time you engage in it without awareness, you create a bond. And that bond does not disappear just because you walk away. It lingers. It follows you. It holds you down. How many chosen ones have been trapped in toxic relationships because of this? How many have felt like they could not move forward, like something was holding them back? That is because these connections do not just exist in the physical world, they exist in the unseen. And here is the truth. Not everyone you desire is meant for you. Some people are sent as distractions. Some people are sent as tests. And if you are not careful, you will mistake a lesson for a life partner. But there is a way out. There is always a way out. You break free by understanding the power of detachment. You break free by recognizing that not every feeling needs to be followed. You break free by choosing what is right over what is easy. Lust will tell you that you need them, that you need to feel that pleasure, that connection, that momentary escape. But what it does not tell you is that every time you give in, you lose a piece of yourself. The chosen ones are meant to be free, but true freedom is not found in indulgence. It is found in discipline, in mastery, in the ability to walk away from anything that does not serve your highest purpose. The question is, are you willing to walk away, or will you remain bound by chains you cannot see? The greatest enemy of a chosen one is not failure. It is not struggle. It is not even opposition. The greatest enemy is distraction, and there is no greater distraction than lust. It is subtle. It is deceptive. It does not come as an obvious threat. It does not attack with force. No, it lures you in. It makes you believe that it is harmless, that it is normal, that it is just a part of life. But in reality, it is a thief of time, a thief of focus, a thief of destiny. Have you ever noticed how hard it is to concentrate after indulging in lust? How your energy feels scattered? How your motivation suddenly fades? It is no accident. It is designed that way. Because the world does not need to stop you from achieving your purpose. It only needs to keep you too distracted to pursue it. Think about the great minds throughout history, the inventors, the warriors, the spiritual leaders, the visionaries. What did they all have in common? Mastery of self. They did not allow distractions to pull them away from their mission. They knew that every ounce of energy wasted on fleeting desires was energy stolen from their purpose. Look at those who fell. The kings, the rulers, the leaders who lost everything. Not because they lacked intelligence, not because they lacked strength, but because they allowed lust to divert them from their path. They did not see it for what it was, a weapon designed to keep them weak. And this is why the chosen ones must be vigilant, because the battle is not just outside, it is inside. The war is not just against the world, it is against the self, against every impulse, every craving, every urge that pulls you away from your destiny. Every moment spent chasing pleasure is a moment lost. Every time you indulge in lust, you are feeding a system that wants to keep you enslaved. It wants you distracted. It wants you weak. It wants you chasing things that do not matter so that you never pursue what does. But here is the truth. The chosen ones are not meant to be slaves to desire. They are meant to be masters of it. They are meant to rise above, to see through the illusion, to break free from the cycle. Because when you do, something incredible happens. Your mind sharpens, your focus returns, your energy shifts, and suddenly, the path that was once hidden becomes clear. You begin to move with purpose. You begin to operate at a level that most people will never reach, because most people are still distracted, still chasing, still lost in the illusion. But you are not most people. There is a force that watches over the chosen ones, a divine energy that protects, guides, and shields those who walk the higher path. But that protection is not automatic. It requires alignment. It requires discipline. It requires purity of mind, body, and spirit. And when you step out of alignment, when you give in to lust, to temptation, to indulgence, you leave yourself open. You lower your vibration. You weaken the shield around you. And suddenly, things start to go wrong. Have you ever noticed how everything seems to fall apart after a moment of weakness? How bad luck follows indulgence? How setbacks, confusion, and struggles seem to multiply when you allow yourself to be consumed by desire? It is not a coincidence. Lust is not just about pleasure. It is a doorway, a gateway for lower vibrational forces to enter your life. Forces that thrive in chaos. Forces that feed on weakness. And once they enter, they do not leave easily. Ancient warriors, monks, and spiritual leaders understood this. They knew that purity of mind and body was the key to divine protection. They knew that self-discipline was not just about control, it was about power. Power to resist the forces that seek to corrupt. Power to remain in alignment with the divine. Power to walk through the storms of life untouched. But when you give in to lust, you invite the storm. You open the door to chaos. You step out of the light and into the shadows. And in the shadows, anything can happen. Look around. Look at the world. Look at those who are consumed by their desires. Are they protected? Or are they constantly fighting battles they do not understand? Constantly struggling, constantly falling, constantly wondering why things never seem to go right. It is because they have lost alignment. But here is the good news. Alignment can be restored. The moment you take control of your desires, the moment you break free from the cycle, the moment you reclaim your energy, you realign with divine protection. You step back into your power. You move with purpose, with clarity, with strength. And the chaos, it disappears. Because the chosen ones are not meant to live in confusion. They are meant to walk with certainty, with confidence, with divine favor. But that favor only comes to those who are willing to protect it. Are you willing to protect it? Or will you continue to leave the door open? Lust promises pleasure, but it delivers regret. And regret is a heavy burden. It lingers. It follows you. It whispers in your ear when you are alone. For the chosen ones, this burden is even greater, because the chosen ones are connected to something higher. They feel things more deeply. They understand, on a soul level, when they have stepped out of alignment. And that understanding brings guilt. Have you ever felt it? That sinking feeling after giving in to temptation. That moment where the pleasure fades and all that is left is emptiness. That is the weight of spiritual regret. That is the soul's way of telling you that you are not meant for this path. But here is where most people get trapped. They believe that once they have fallen, they cannot rise. They believe that the guilt defines them, that they are now unworthy. And so, instead of breaking free, they continue the cycle. The system loves this, because a guilty person is easy to control. A guilty person is stuck in the past. A guilty person cannot manifest power, and that is exactly what they want. to keep you looking backward instead of moving forward. But here is the truth. The past does not define you. What defines you is your ability to rise, to learn, to grow, to walk the path of discipline, not because you are afraid of failure, but because you understand the cost of weakness. Guilt is a trick. It is a tool used to keep you in the cycle. But you do not have to stay in it. You can break free. You can forgive yourself. You can choose a different path. A moment of weakness does not mean a lifetime of failure. A single mistake does not mean you are lost forever. The difference between those who remain trapped and those who rise is simple. Some allow guilt to hold them back. Others use it as fuel to move forward. Which one will you be? Everything in the universe operates on energy. The thoughts you think, the emotions you feel, and the actions you take all emit a frequency. The stronger your energy, the stronger your ability to manifest. This is why the chosen ones, those who are spiritually awakened, have an unmatched power to shape their reality. But what happens when that energy is wasted? What happens when the very force that fuels your manifestations is drained from you? This is what lust does. It is not just about pleasure. It is about siphoning away your ability to create, to attract, to command reality. It is a direct attack on your manifestation power. Have you ever noticed that when you're in control of yourself, things seem to flow effortlessly? You attract opportunities. You manifest ideas into reality. You feel a deep sense of confidence and certainty. Your aura is powerful. People feel it. They respect it. They are drawn to it. But what happens when lust takes over? Your thoughts become scattered. Your energy feels depleted. Your mind, instead of being focused on building, growing, and evolving, becomes obsessed with chasing momentary pleasure. And in that obsession, your ability to manifest weakens. You no longer radiate confidence. You no longer attract abundance. You no longer move with the same authority. This is why ancient sages, warriors, and spiritual masters all understood the importance of controlling desire. They knew that the more you master yourself, the more you master your reality. But society does not teach you this. It teaches the opposite. It encourages indulgence. It normalizes losing control. Because a person who is controlled by their desires is easy to manipulate. A person who is constantly seeking external gratification will never be able to harness their internal power. This is why the chosen ones must be different. You must recognize that your energy is your most valuable resource. Every thought, every action, every desire must be aligned with your purpose. And if it is not, if it is draining you instead of elevating you, it must be eliminated. Because when you conquer lust, you regain your ability to manifest. Your thoughts become powerful. Your words create reality. Your presence alone influences the world around you. And this is what they fear. They do not fear a chosen one who is lost in distractions. They do not fear someone who is wasting their energy on meaningless pursuits. But a chosen one who has mastered their desires. A chosen one who is fully aligned with their purpose, fully in control of their energy, fully tapped into their divine power. That is unstoppable. Not all battles are visible. Some take place in realms you cannot see. Some happen not in the physical world, but in the unseen dimensions of energy, influence, and spiritual warfare. Lust is not just a feeling. It is not just an action. It is a doorway through which lower vibrational forces enter, a doorway through which energies that do not serve you take hold. Have you ever done something under the influence of lust and later regretted it? Have you ever felt like, in that moment, you were not fully in control? That something else was driving you? That you were acting on impulse, almost as if you were possessed by a force beyond your own will? That is because lust is not just a human desire. It is a tool, a force that, when left unchecked, allows external influences to take over. Look at history. How many great men and women have fallen because they were overtaken by desire? How many leaders, warriors, and visionaries have lost everything, not because they were weak, not because they lacked intelligence, but because they allowed lust to control them? This is not a coincidence. It is an ancient strategy. A strategy designed to take powerful beings and reduce them to mere vessels. Vessels for lower forces, vessels for manipulation, vessels for destruction. Because when you are controlled by lust, you are no longer in control of yourself. You make choices that you would never make in a state of clarity. You engage with people who drain your energy. You enter into situations that are not meant for you. And before you even realize it, you are no longer walking your path. You are no longer fulfilling your purpose. You have become a pawn in a game that you do not even see. This is why the chosen ones must rise above. You must recognize that every time you give in to lust, you are not just indulging in a momentary pleasure. You are opening a door. And the question is, who or what is walking through that door? This is not about fear. This is about awareness. This is about understanding the spiritual mechanics behind lust and desire. This is about recognizing that you were never meant to be controlled. You were meant to be the master. When you close that door, when you take back control, when you reclaim your energy, something incredible happens. You begin to move differently. You begin to see clearly. You begin to operate at a frequency that most people will never reach. And most importantly, you are no longer a vessel for forces that do not serve you. You become a force in yourself. Because the moment you master your desires, the world can no longer control you. Society can no longer distract you. The lower forces can no longer influence you. You are free. And there is nothing more powerful than a chosen one who has broken free from the chains of lust. The world does not need to stop the chosen ones with chains or prison bars. It does not need to silence them with weapons or force. All it needs to do is keep them asleep, distracted, trapped in a cycle of pleasure and regret, indulgence and emptiness. Because as long as they are chasing something outside of themselves, they will never awaken to the power within. Lust is the perfect tool for this. It keeps you locked in a loop, seeking something that can never satisfy you. It makes you believe that the next experience, the next indulgence, the next moment of pleasure will finally fulfill you. But it never does. It only leaves you hungrier, more drained, more disconnected from your purpose. Have you ever noticed how the greatest distractions always come at the moment you are about to step into something greater? Have you ever realized how, right when you are gaining momentum, something pulls you back? A temptation, a person, a fleeting desire. This is not an accident. It is designed. Because if you are focused, if you are disciplined, if you are fully aligned with your purpose, nothing can stop you. This is why the world bombards you with distractions. This is why lust is promoted everywhere. They do not need to fight you directly. They only need to keep you busy with meaningless pursuits. Think about this. Every moment you spend chasing pleasure is a moment you could have spent building your vision. Every bit of energy you waste is energy that could have been used to shape your destiny. Every time you indulge in what drains you, you are delaying your own rise. And the system smiles, because it does not need to destroy you. It only needs to keep you from becoming what you were meant to be. But here's the truth. The moment you wake up, the game changes. When you stop chasing distractions and start channeling that energy into your mission, everything shifts. You move with purpose. You operate at a higher level. You become someone that cannot be manipulated, controlled, or thrown off course. The distractions will still come. The temptations will still appear. But they will no longer have power over you, because you will see them for what they are. Tests to see if you are truly ready to step into your highest self. And the question is, will you pass the test? Or will you allow yourself to be pulled back into the cycle? The choice is yours. The battle is not outside of you. It has never been outside of you. It has always been within. The war is not against the world. It is against the parts of yourself that still crave what is holding you back. Because if lust controls you, the world controls you. If you cannot master your own desires, then someone else will. If you do not take ownership of your energy, something else will claim it for you. This is why the most powerful people in history understood self-discipline. They understood that true freedom is not found in indulgence. It is found in control. Mastery over self is the highest form of power. But most people will never reach it. Most people will continue to let their emotions, their cravings, their impulses dictate their lives. They will continue to be puppets in a game they do not even realize they are playing. But you are not most people. You are chosen. You are meant for something greater. And if you have made it this far, then you already know that the time has come to rise. This is not just about avoiding lust. It is about reclaiming your energy. It is about walking in your power. It is about finally stepping into the version of yourself that you were always meant to be. So what will you do? Will you continue down the path of indulgence, of distraction, of wasted energy? Or will you rise above it? Will you take back control? Will you become the master of your own destiny? The choice is yours. But understand this: every day you wait, every moment you hesitate, you are delaying your own greatness. The world is waiting for you to step up. Your purpose is waiting for you to claim it. Your higher self is waiting for you to finally embrace it. Are you ready? If this message has spoken to you, if you feel that shift happening inside of you, then make it real. Declare it. Step into it. Comment below, "I take back my power." Because this is not just another video. This is a call to awaken, and the ones who are ready will answer.